Next week on Steam, we've got a satirical dictator simulator, a bully spiritual successor set in the early 2000s, a Papers, Please style Area 51 horror game, a 50v50 Vietnam War shooter, and a renovation sim, where the entire point is doing the job as cheaply and badly as possible. Not a bad lineup for mid August. Now there's a relatively quiet week for AAA releases, which makes the interesting mid tier and indie titles stand out even more. Pax Autocratica releases August 10th into early access. It's a hybrid colony sim plus a first person roguelite FPS. You build and rule a totalitarian space colony while personally leading troops into escalating battles. You start off in infantry and move to vehicles and go to mechs. Citizen management is driven by fear, loyalty, propaganda, and punishment. You can capture and convert your enemies. It's developed by Multiverse and launching into early access at $30. Now, this looks like it understands power fantasy without apology. Most colony sims either go pure cozy or lean into soft progressive messaging. Pax Autocratica is leaning hard into the absurdity and cruelty of absolute authority and treating it as entertainment. Now, whether the satire lands or just becomes a power trip slop fest will depend on the execution, but the premise is more honest than most management games right now. Agefield High, Rock the School, releases August 12th. Now, it's an open world coming of age adventure set in a small town in the early 2000s. You play as a new student who joins two friends on a plan to rock the school before graduation. Features school attendance systems, side jobs, clothing customization, crude humor, and has a 8 to 10 hour main story with two endings developed by Refugium Games. This is one of the few recent games that seems to be aiming for the actual tone of early 2000s teen comedies instead of filtering everything through modern sensitivity. The risk is that it ends up feeling like a low budget bully clone with dated facial animations. The opportunity is that it might deliver the kind of irreverent, male centered high school chaos that bigger studios will no longer touch. It's worth watching to see if the nostalgia is earned or just surface level. Maybe the mixtape devs should play this one.
Daddy, if you trap me here, this will only be the beginnings of my wicked ways.
Security 51, releasing August 12th, is an atmospheric horror security guard simulator. You work a checkpoint inside Area 51, checking documents, observing behavior, and deciding who or what gets to use the elevator into the restricted levels. There's escalating tools such as fingerprints, blood tests, and quarantine, and has delayed consequences for mistakes, developed by Alwar. This is the cleanest concept of the week. Papers, Please, plus SCP Paranoia. It's a pretty strong foundation. The best versions of this genre work because they make the player complicit and uncertain. If Alawar keeps the focus on tension and protocol instead of jumping to cheap body horror or lectures, this could be one of the stronger indie horror releases of the summer. Watch out, you just might get probed. Hell Let Loose Vietnam releases August 13th. Standalone 50v50 multiplayer tactical shooter set in the Vietnam War. Features 6 large maps, helicopters, patrol boats, tunnel systems for the NVA, and 17 specialized roles. Emphasizes teamwork and chain of command over pure individual skill. The standard edition right now is $40, currently discounted for pre-purchase. Developed by Expression Games, published by Team 17. Now, Hell Let Loose has always been one of the few large-scale multiplayer shooters that still treats the player like an adult, instead of a Battle Pass customer. Moving the setting to Vietnam is high risk, high reward. If the maps and systems support the same deliberate communication-heavy play, it could be a strong alternative to the usual live service grind. If it just becomes another chaotic vehicle fest, it will feel like a missed opportunity. I'm sure some Bad Company 2 veterans will definitely be checking this out. Low Budget Repairs releases August 13th. It's a first-person renovation simulator set in 1990s Polish apartment blocks. Now, the core loop of the game is accepting jobs and maximizing profit by cutting every possible corner, diluting paint, throwing furniture out of windows, using the cheapest tools, etc. Now, the demo was very well received and published by Playway Simplicity Games. This is pure anti-perfectionist comedy. Most simulation games reward you for doing the job correctly. This one rewards you for doing the bare minimum and getting paid before the client notices. It's the kind of low stakes, high concept idea that still thrives on Steam while bigger studios chase live service metrics. It's games like this that repairmen will laugh and play because it's a spoof instead of attempting to be realistic. This is a pretty good snapshot of where Steam still works. You're not getting a $70 live service disaster this week. You're getting a dictator simulator, a high school rebellion game, a paranoia horror check-in sim, a large-scale tactical shooter, and a renovation game about doing the job badly on purpose. Some of these games will be rough around the edges. A couple might actually be good. That's still a better hit rate than most AAA calendars. Now, which one of these games grabbed your attention? Sound off below and let me know if you would like me to take a closer look at one of them. Before we leave, let's look at the biggest mover that released last week. We all thought it would be Beast of Reincarnation. I bet Game Freak thought so too. But it turns out it's Fields of Mistra. Fields of Mistra has been in early access for 2 years, where it was maintaining 2,000 concurrent players. And it released a 1.0 last week, and it's currently sitting at 30 on the sales chart and moving between 40 and 50 on the player chart, peaking at almost 32,000 concurrent players. Congratulations to NPC Studio on a successful launch. Now, don't forget to subscribe for more Steam updates and maybe some hot takes, and I'll see you next week.